Today, we're going to dig a little bit deeper into a functional movement called rotation. We've touched on this in a couple of previous modules, but today I'm going to give you more exercises to help strengthen the muscles of rotation and also to bring your awareness to how we rotate in stretching as well. Rotation is not only functional, right? If you reach back into the back seat to grab something, you have to rotate, but it also is really good for detoxifying the body. So I'm going to show you some stretches that sort of can wring out some toxins and flush things through. And a lot of our ability to rotate is based on strength. We have muscles of rotation and then mobility. So you'll hear strength and mobility talked about all the time. If you have things that are sticky or stuck in your body, it is going to make rotation a little bit harder. So again, just notice neutral notes, notice what is happening in your body in a neutral way without judgment, and we can work on any of this stuff together. Alkalign is a practice. Practice makes progress. All these things that are going on in your body and your life did not just happen overnight, right? All this stuff has just happened cumulatively, one little thing at a time without us even noticing. So it can be a little bit intimidating when you start paying attention. A lot of us are like, la 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 la, I don't want to recognize that. It's too hard to see and to acknowledge what's happening. But the beauty of that is when you know better, you can do better. When you recognize things are happening in your body, you can take steps to make them better. And Alkalign is all about being here for you to assist you with that along the way. Okay, so rotation. We're going to start in an all fours position. Okay, if this doesn't work for you, you can turn over and kind of do this upside down, and I'll show you that in a second. So start in all fours. Again, all fours is a nice symmetric push. You are pushing your body away from gravity. You're going to slide your left leg back, pick up your right hand and rotate, and then place your hand back down, slide your left knee in, slide your right leg back, and rotate to the left. Okay, I'll do that a few more times with you, and then you're going to be on your own for a minute while I show you the alternative if this doesn't work for you. Lengthen your left leg, rotate to the right. So you're rotating towards the opposite direction of the back leg. So right leg goes back, rotate to the left. Okay, if that doesn't work for you, you can lie on your back, bring your arms up and rotate, open your right arm, bring your hips to the left, come back through center. This gets a little bit more through your hips, but definitely gets to your thoracic spine. Just go really gently. So your knees go to the left, open up your right arm, come back through center, knees go to the right. So you're just getting a little warmed up through your thoracic spine. And your back, again, you get a little bit more of the hip opening, but you're going to get that lengthening through your hip here with your leg lengthened. So just slightly different variation. Pick the one that works best for you. And if you want to repeat any of these modules and pick one day and something else another day, do that. Variety is the spice of Alkalign. Okay, and now come back to all fours. And this is actually a really good check for what's kind of sticky and stuck in your upper back, your neck, your shoulders, sometimes your low back. You're going to slide the left arm underneath the right. We call this a thread the needle stretch. Hi. Option to take this arm and wrap it around. I feel it here in my mid back. Some people feel it a lot in the shoulders, and some people cannot get their shoulder all the way down on the floor and they're here. That's totally fine. Switch sides. Take the right arm through. Reach your left arm up. Option to wrap it around. Again, if you need this hand to kind of push your body up to, find that stability in the shoulder, it's fine. Everybody's range of motion is a little bit different, so just recognize where you are. And again, we can continually work to improve mobility if you find that it's lacking someplace. No big deal. Okay. Now for rotation, I want to do an exercise, a couple exercises that are going to help strengthen the muscles of rotation. So come down into a forearm plank. You can be on your knees or on your toes. Again, your plank, you can also be here standing or against the wall. You can do what we're about to do in any of those positions. So bring your forearms down, pull your abdominals in. Planks are always in neutral. And then you're going to tilt your hips left, center, right, center. So it's like you're dipping your left hip down and then dipping your right hip down. Left, center, right, center. Sometimes I pretend I have a chip, like a corn chip on my hip, and I'm dipping it in guacamole, which, by the way, that is my probably favorite snack, sometimes meal. I love like really good, high quality tortilla chips and really high quality homemade guacamole. But you can dip, you know, some chocolate and some peanut butter. You can dip, you know, an olive and vodka, whatever works for you. Okay, last one, right, and then come back through center and shift back into a child's pose. If child's pose doesn't work for you, you can come into what we call a figure or extension stretch, or you can, if you're standing up, and gently pull off a stable surface, figure 7 stretch. Just take a little stretch, take a little break, and we're gonna layer on from that forearm plank. Now we're gonna go into a side plank. Okay, so bring your palms together and open up to the right. You have lots of options in side plank. Option 1, keep your knees bent and on the ground. Option 2, you can lengthen the top leg. Option 3, you can lengthen both legs. You can stagger your feet or stack your feet. But if you have any knee sensitivity, I recommend keeping the bottom leg down for support. There is a lot of lateral pressure that happens on our knees in day-to-day life. I think of like sports and activities, like if you ever watch, you know, soccer or football and you see someone get, you know, side swiped, you're like, oh my God, that looks awful for your knee. The knees are a hinge joint. They're meant to go back and forth, just like the elbow, right? So we want to reduce any lateral pressure on the knee. And if you have cranky knees anyway, I mean, the feet staggered is a little more stable than the feet stacked, but the knees bent, the bottom knee bent is better. I do have one request. You can come out of that plank and just listen to me for a moment. If I had one wish, it would be to never see this following thing again. I feel like this is so bad for the bottom knee, and I see it taught all over social media and all over the internet and all over yoga classes. And because it's taught, people think it's safe and they do it, and we wonder why we have so many knee problems. Okay, it is this, lifting the top leg. Now, can some people do that safely? If you have super, super strong glutes and you're really able to fire the glutes so that your glutes are holding you up and you're not sitting into the side of the bottom knee, great. But you might be damaging your knee and not even knowing it. So I beg you, please do not lift your top leg in a side plank. I still see people do, I've been saying that for years and I still see people in my classes doing it. I mean, lift at your own risk, like risk versus reward. I'm always looking at risk versus reward. I think that is much higher risk than it has reward. If you want to strengthen the glutes or strengthen your abdominals, we can find a lot of different ways to do it that are much safer. Okay, sorry, I digress. Come into your side plank. Pick your position. I'm gonna go bottom leg bent, top leg straight, and then take your hand to your top hip and make sure it's stacked on top. Then reach your right arm up. Thread your arm underneath and rotate your torso, and then lift up. Squeeze the glutes on the bottom leg to use your glutes, right? Your core is what helps you rotate safely and with power, right? So sometimes you're just trying to protect ourselves from like a back injury as you're like rotating to grab something. And sometimes you're looking for power and performance from this rotation. If you're swinging a golf ball or golf club or a tennis racket, you want the power of the rotation, right? So this is going to help you. And guess what? It's not just your abdominals and your obliques that create rotation. Your glute strength is also going to help. Last one. Come all the way up. Come back. Sit back on your heels, come to your knees or come to standing, take a little chest stretch, clasp your hands like so. I'm gonna turn around the other way just so I don't have to be antisocial and face my back to you. But you can do what you want. If you want to face your screen, then spin around because we're going to switch sides. Come down into a forward plank. Bring your palms together. Set up your position first. Notice my hips are in line with my shoulders. They're not way high or way low. Some people like it a smidge higher than the shoulders. That's fine. Open up the opposite direction. So again, I'm choosing the same thing on this side. Bottom knee bent, top leg straight. Pick the one that works best for you. Take the top arm, thread it underneath, and lift back up. So squeeze the glutes, the bottom glutes, to hold your pelvis lifted and to really keep everything aligned and stable as you layer on. So nothing in your lower body is moving. You're just rotating your torso to the floor and then lifting back. Rotate. Two more. Rotate. And lift. Notice if your hips are going with them, try to stabilize and quiet your lower body. Hold it here. Good. Pull your abdominals in, pull your ribs back. Use your hand as tactile feedback. You don't even have to have the hand here. You can have it here and feel that rotation if that works for you. You have 4 counts. 3, 2, 1. Quarter turn back. Come into your child's pose. Flop your hands to the right. Flop your hands to the left. So we've done some rotations, particularly in our pole video, where we're sitting and rotating. We're not going to repeat that today. That would be another example of rotation. That's what I think about when I think about reaching into the back seat to grab something, or rotating to hit the golf ball, to hit the tennis ball, pickleball, swinging a baseball bat. All those things involve rotation. So if it's the mundane stuff or the really exciting stuff, think about that. And now we're going to do some rotational stretches. So that thread the needle stretch was 1. Now I want you to lie down on your back, hug your knees into your chest. If you chose option 2 at the very beginning to do that little rotation on your back, this will feel similar. Take your knees up and over to the right, and then reach your left arm out in opposition. The weight of your lower body, the weight of your legs is drawing the energy this way as your left arm reaches this way, and you're going to feel a stretch through your low back, through your thoracic spine, which is your mid back, and often across the chest because we spend so much time internally rotated, texting, typing, side sleeping. We're constantly shortening this distance between our collarbones, so this should feel really good. If you like a little bit more, you can take your bottom leg on top of your top leg, and that just adds a little bit more load. It may or may not work for your hips, your knees, your back. Uncross your legs, come back this way, and now look the opposite direction. So again, the spinal rotation is sort of wringing out your organs, good for detoxification, good for digestion, and obviously very functional based on all the examples we gave. And then come down through center today. Place your feet down. If you have any back sensitivity, stay here with your knees bent and your feet on the floor. Otherwise, you have the option to lengthen your legs, turn your palms up, close your eyes, take an inhale, and an exhale. Breathe and just take a moment to be. If this feels really uncomfortable, slowing down and being still, take note of that. I used to just cringe. I felt so uncomfortable in what they call in yoga shavasana, right, which is this resting pose. So uncomfortable for me to be still. But you need this time to shift from your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight, to your parasympathetic, your rest and restore. This is where your body has a chance to recharge, to regenerate, to digest. Just keep coming back to your breath. And if your instinct is to get up and turn off this video and go on with your day, just ask yourself, self, why is it so uncomfortable for me to sit in stillness for a moment? When you're ready, wiggle your fingers and your toes, roll to one side, and push yourself back up. And now you have my blessing, my permission to turn off the video and go on with the rest of your day. I'll see you next time.